Hey, it's Kurt, Mañana No Mas. What do you know about SEO? Hey, folks, it's Kurt with Mañana No Mas. And as always, I'm going to be super transparent here and really just share with you part of the journey, kind of my build in public entrepreneur's path to try and find some success out there in what we do. So, in Mañana No Mas, we launched Mañana No Mas in 2008. I can't believe it's been that long, right? But we launched Mañana No Mas in 2008 in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And we launched locally and did pretty good. But we were working with real entry level stuff. So we did some HTML websites, some digital marketing. We were early adopters of most social platforms. So we were active, like Facebook, Twitter, some YouTube stuff. Believe it or not, we still had some folks who were talking about MySpace and stuff like that. And so there was a lot going on. Okay. But we ended up managing the Twitter and Facebook pages for about 75, 80 companies, entrepreneurs, speakers, authors, coaches, that kind of thing, managing that stuff for them and building their brochure style websites in WordPress or HTML. Like we had a plumber that did the normal HTML website right out of Dreamweaver. And so, pardon me, we had these things and we launched them. And then we got picked up with UPublic TV, and UPublic TV was having us help with some TV show stuff, some social, some introductory stuff, and we did some on-air stuff. We actually ended up working with MMA Pro Watch and stuff, like doing some cool TV stuff. And so we got exposure to a lot of different channels, a lot of ways of doing things. We started to play with public relations. We started to talk about press releases. We did a bunch of press releases in the power sports industry, RV, camping, those kinds of things. And so we got our feet wet in a lot. I got hired away from myself and went corporate for a little while, working directly with companies like Ducati, Suzuki, BRP. Did a contract thing with Indian and Polaris, and I believe that was Victory as well, right before Victory closed. And anyway, lots of power sports experience. And so we come out of that in the middle, well, not in the middle, at the beginning of the pandemic, before the shutdown, before the lockdowns. We had to relaunch Mañana No Mas. I say had to because Suzuki had a huge reduction in force. And so my entire division was closed. And I said, well, we can start pounding the pavement looking for work, or we can go right back to what we know, and let's just help as many people as possible with the Mañana No Mas mission. And we were in California at the time, and we launched Mañana No Mas again in 2020. So now here we are, 2024, kind of like a rebrand, relaunch. And I was like, well, let's focus on membership and learning websites. That's where our most recent wins have been. And so I like, helping companies get their messages and their branding in line. But I was like, let's focus on our strength, membership and learning websites. And I have a relationship with Lifter LMS, and I have a relationship with WP Tonic, which is a fantastic WordPress managed host. And so let's leverage those relationships and see where we go. And it wasn't long before we were doing bigger projects. So we're not doing brochure websites anymore. Like we could, if you want us to do it for you, let's have the conversation. But for the longest time, those brochure type WordPress websites were like our bread and butter. We were kicking those out like crazy. Now we're doing more like, wow, I've got 10,000 users. I've got 15 courses. I want to have social interactions on my website. I want groups. I want forums. I want photo sharing. I want automations. I want automations with my customer resource management tool, all these things. So now we're building these more complicated platform style websites. And I'm going through this to let you know kind of what we were doing, okay, where we're at. Here's the deal. I've got hundreds and hundreds of videos on YouTube, multiple channels with hundreds of videos on YouTube. I've got blog content. I've got helping content. I've got DIY content. I've got all of this stuff embedded in the Mañana No Mas framework and network. So Mañana No Mas has a ton of stuff. Action Leadership Team has a ton of stuff. The Kurt Von Annen page has a ton of stuff. The Power Sport Academy has a ton of stuff. And you know how sometimes they say, don't buy a mechanic's car because that's the one car that doesn't get worked on. He works on everyone else's cars, but he doesn't work on his own car. Or, you know, don't touch the light switch in an electrician's house. It's that kind of a mentality. It's that kind of realization that I made in looking at my own stuff. So here I am, and I run a podcast, and I'm talking to other business people, and here I am marketing that I will build you a website that's SEO optimized, that's ready to go, that's right. So I can do these things for you. But when I look at my own results in my own website, in my own YouTube journey, the fruits are not hanging on those trees. I'm just being honest with you. I'm being as transparent as I possibly can. So these people that are saying, you know, standing next to a Lamborghini on YouTube saying, hey, the e-learning business is going berserk crazy. Just put your course out there and you'll be a millionaire. That's a lie, right? That's completely false. And it takes work. It takes strategy. It takes knowing how all of these things work. So in the WordPress world, I am kind of like the guy for e-learning, right? I'm the guy that you would come to and say, hey, I got a company and we need to have an e-learning website to teach our staff or to onboard our customers or to, you know, help the HR department, help our remote workers get their stuff done at distance instead of having to come to the office. We can build all that in a WordPress framework that organizes, you know, the user's data, organizes all the user's learning content, and stores your reporting and certifications and all of that stuff. So we have all that to build here. We know how to do that. And then we also work with SCORM. So a lot of corporations, their e-learning materials in a different type of program. It's in a SCORM, what they call a SCORM package. And so, you know, you've done e-learning for a corporate thing before. It's a little window pops up and things might play in there. There might be videos, or it might look like an animated PowerPoint. There might be some interactivities, like a is that a word? Interactivities, buttons that you might push to go to the next chapter or whatever. That's a SCORM package. It takes a special tool to make that work in WordPress. And Mañana No Mas is very adept at making those things work. So we have like 4 or 5 different ways to make SCORM play inside your website. It can be the whole tab. It can be a little bit, it can be a pop-up lightbox window. It can be whatever. Now, I say all that to say, don't feel bad if you also have a ton of content that nobody's looking at. If you're on TikTok and you're getting 40 views per video, and then you look and someone else is getting 1.6 million views per video, there's a reason why that happens. And in my personal case, it's been a matter of I've been too busy working on other people's stuff to work on my own stuff. And so what I want to do is I'm going to carve out a little bit of time each week. And I really like your feedback on this. So if you're watching this live, or if you are catching the replay on this, I'd really like your feedback on this, because part of me, I'm sure you've already noticed, I'm the kind of guy that gets an idea and jumps on, starts streaming right away. Like today, doing this right now, I'm like, just stream it right away. Put the idea out there and see who likes it. But I got to be real. Maybe you're the kind of person that only has like lunch on Tuesdays, you know, to look at something that's going to be like a series. And I want this to be more like a series. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be transparent. I'm going to build in public, and I'm going to show you along the way things that we're doing or changes that we are making to our website, to our YouTube channel. And I haven't quite decided yet. I'm not really committed to the TikTok thing. I enjoy TikTok. I think it's kind of fun. But I really haven't thought of using it from a business perspective yet. The other thing is LinkedIn. Now, as you know, I've already leveraged LinkedIn pretty hard. I've got close to 10,000 connections, and that's after filtering a bunch out. So every now and then you take a look and you go, oh, well, I got all these people that never message me back or never like or follow or do anything, right? So I think they're either bots or they're people that just don't care. And so I'll filter those out every now and then, and I'll keep focusing on driving with the people that work, right? So I'm at about 10,000 people now on LinkedIn. And for me, that feels healthy. Other people might say, I need 20, I need 25,000. You can have up to 30,000 connections in LinkedIn, which to me seems like a lot. But, back when I had 1,200, I probably thought 10,000 was a lot. So anyway, I'm pretty solid on the LinkedIn, but I'm going to be actively working on the SEO in our Mañana No Mas website. And I'm going to be actively working on the SEO in the Mañana No Mas YouTube channel. Now, I have other sites. I have other YouTube channels. I have other X channels. I have a Facebook page that's Mañana No Mas. And to be honest, they all need a little love. They all need a little bit of love. But I have been organically popping content into these channels for a long time. And I'm not seeing the growth, the numbers, the exposure, I'm not seeing the traffic that an affiliate marketer would be excited about. And so I thought to myself, I could convince myself to do this on my own. And, a year from now, look back on it and go, oh, that's awesome. Now I've got this thriving business with all this traffic and all these leads coming in, and I could be greedy about it, or I could take you along for the journey. So I've decided to take you along for the journey. The feedback I'd like from you is, what are the things that you are most curious about? For instance, for me, it's like people talk about, well, do your keyword research and then make sure you optimize for those keywords and keyword phrases. And I'm like, but where do those keywords come from? How do I pick the keywords? Like, how do I pick the right keyword to drive the traffic to get the people that I want to talk to? Right. So there's things like people say, oh, just do this. But people say it like, all you got to do is just pick these words and then optimize all your content for those words. Well, if I pick the words, let's say I pick the words e-learning, right? So let's say develop e-learning websites. But the other side of my business is public speaking and membership. So if I'm showing people how to build membership websites, is that a separate list of keywords? Public speaking and training and leadership, is that another 2 sets of keywords? So how many sets of keywords am I trying to optimize for? If I'm trying to optimize for 5 or 6 different sets of keywords, well, then all of a sudden I'm not feeling too focused, right? So I want to go through this process and I want to experiment, and I'm okay to experiment and fail, by the way. I'm totally okay with that. So I'm going to try a couple of different tools. A lot of people in the WordPress space talk about Yoast. A lot of people in the WordPress space talk about all-in-one SEO. A lot of people in the WordPress space talk about rank math. So I'm going to try a couple of different tools. I'm going to try a couple of different things, and I'm going to share the progress. I'll show you the back end of my website. I ain't scared. And I'll show you the results that we get along the way. And we're going to see some weeks where we grow well, and we're going to see weeks where we don't. But it'll be good to kind of put it out there and maybe, blow up that whole smoke and mirrors thing and just be like, hey, this works. This is how we do things. And if we can successfully do that with the site, and then again in YouTube to me is one, I'm going to be honest with you, YouTube kind of sticks in my craw a little bit. I've got, I don't know, I haven't even looked in a long time. I should care more about this stuff. I know I've got over 1,000 followers on X. I know that I've got thousands of people I'm connected to on Facebook. I know that I'm close to 10,000 on LinkedIn. And so on YouTube, with hundreds of videos, I'm not exaggerating, hundreds, literally hundreds of videos. And I know the content is mostly good. The content's mostly good. 82, I think, 82 subscribers. And that's it. And so, what's the goal? I don't know that I have a goal. I know that once you get over 1,000 subscribers, some more options in YouTube open up for you. So I think one of my immediate goals would be in YouTube to get 1,000 subscribers. Now, this is going to be done, or I don't know if organic. I don't know if organic's the right word to use, because here's what I want to say. I may use other tools. I may use other things. I may do some keyword research. I may change thumbnails. I might change title names. Maybe I do something with the descriptions. There's all kinds of things that I can do to change the way these videos are perceived. But there's also tools that you can use, and I'm going to explore some of those tools. The one thing I will not do, and this is, I want to go on the record for this one. On the record, we will not be buying subscriptions. We will not be paying for users. We will not be buying user accounts for any of these experiments. Everything that we will do for this experiment with Mañana No Mas is going to be organic in that we're not paying for viewership. I'm not going to do paid ads. So I'm not going to do paid ads for Mañana No Mas, the website. I'm not going to do paid ads for Mañana No Mas, the YouTube channel. We're going to do this through SEO and consistent content marketing. And I want to share with you what we do, how we do it, and what those results will be. The feedback I'd like from you is, when do you want to see this? I mean, you could always watch the replay, but it's always so much better if we can schedule a time and you can sign in with me and we can have the conversation. You can put in comments. I can answer your comments. We can do screen shares, all of those things. So like I said, I personally am not overly secretive. I'll show you the back end of the Mañana No Mas website. I don't care if people see it. I'll show you the back end of it. I'll show you what we're working on. I'll show you exactly what we're doing. And then if you're in that position where you're looking at this, maybe you're a digital marketer. Maybe you're really good at Google My Business. Maybe you're really good at paid Facebook ads. Maybe you're really good at Google pay-per-click advertising. And maybe, just maybe, you're like me. Maybe you're really, really good at something, but because you're so good at one thing, you didn't adopt or didn't fall in line with something you should have. I realize that the digital marketing space is a huge space and you can't be an expert on all of it. I totally recognize you can't be in charge of everything. Okay. But like in my personal journey, for the amount of content that I've made in YouTube and for the amount of content that's in the Mañana No Mas website, I should have more traffic than I do. And I recognize that. And there's really no one to blame but myself, because I have a team of people. I am an agency. I could offload this to someone in my agency. I could say, hey, one of your duties is optimize the YouTube channel. Your duty next is to optimize these last 15 blog posts. Like I could divvy that out. I could send that out to have that done. But I made a conscious decision that I'm going to keep it in-house with me, because Mañana No Mas started as my baby. And I really need to learn this. I don't want to just blindly pay somebody else to be doing stuff for me all the time. I believe, and this is just one of those things I believe, maybe it's my John Maxwell training, but I believe I should be able to do it first. I might not be the best at it, but I should be able to do it. I should be able to know what's involved. Once I know that I can do it and see some results, maybe I pawn it off to someone else on my team and I say, hey, this is the way I've been doing it. Do you have any secrets? Do you have a way to make it more efficient? Can you do this better? How much is it going to cost? And let's move forward. But as I make those decisions, you, the people at home, will be right in line with us, because like I said, this is one project I believe needs to be done in public. I think there's too many people out there that have this big question mark over their head. We all think we know what we're supposed to be doing, and we all think that we're doing it. I was putting out blog posts on a regular basis. Boom, boom, boom. And you know what? My overall site traffic really didn't go up that much. And so I had all that work I was doing, but I wasn't seeing the fruits of that labor. And now what I'm saying is I'm really well dialed on how SCORM works in WordPress. I'm really well dialed on how to build a learning and membership website. I'm really well dialed on how e-commerce plugs into WordPress. Like, I'm really well dialed on those things that I project manage for other people within the agency. And so now that I've become an expert in those areas, and now I feel like I am qualified to delegate, manage, and oversee people in the agency that do that, to work alongside of other people that do those functions now, I understand it well enough that I can delegate it. And I want to get to that level with my search engine optimization knowledge in both WordPress and website and YouTube. I hope you're excited. I don't know. We could have great days, we could have bad days. We could get on one week and celebrate wins like nobody's business, and the next week maybe Google changes the algorithm and we get bit in the butt. I don't know. But I think it'll be interesting enough that you'll join and you'll come along for the journey. So two things. When would you want to see it? When would you want to join the conversation and actually participate with me? And the other thing is, if we're going to have this as a series, what would we name it? You know, the SEO monster with Mañana No Mas. That's actually pretty catchy. The SEO monster. I don't know, but if you got an idea, hit me with it. Hit me up in the comments wherever you're watching this. It's on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. It'll probably be on Twitter here in just a heartbeat anyway, or X, whatever you still call it. And that's that. I'm going to get going for now. As always, I want to thank you for joining me and hanging out with me. And I'll see you real soon.